with a side of fries?
Think you're a better driver when you're high? Think again. Smoking weed affects reaction time and concentration. A message from Mad Canada.
You're watching Rogers TV.
Hello and welcome to the What's Up London show. I'm your host, Melissa Maloney, and I'm excited to be here with you today and to share what's up in London. We have some really incredible guests today, and I know you're going to be as excited as I am about what is coming up. From an absolutely amazing new housing development to navigating your finances successfully to enjoying some amazing holiday music. There's something for everyone today. Our first guest today is here to chat with us about an incredible new development, Eve Park. Eve Park is anything but typical. We were lucky enough to tour the space a couple weeks ago, and I was blown away. This development is making a name for itself around the world, and it's right here in London, Ontario. Joining us to tell us about it today is Derek Satnick, VP of Technology for Eve Park. Welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me. We're excited to be here.
Excited to have you, and I was lucky enough to tour, and we're going to put video up as we chat today. But maybe we could start with sort of where did this all come from? Because that's probably a good place as sort of the origin story of Eve Park.
Happy to. Yeah, it's a bit of a long story, so we'll just get the highlights.
Perfect.
As a company, we do a lot of research on environmental issues. We care, obviously, a lot about sustainability. You see that all over what Eve Park has become. In the Western world, about a third of our impact, across the whole Western world, about a third of the average person's environmental impact is the buildings that you work and live in. About a third is transportation issues and how you move around between those buildings. About a third is your diet. We're builders, we're not great at diet, but what we did do is we can lick the net zero energy part. We've got lots of experience on that. We spent a lot of time thinking about transportation and just how to make sure that this was located in a walkable community, so West 5 is fantastic for that. And then we tried to deal with all the other issues that are sort of residual there. So we've got lots of trails, we've got lots of talk about electric cars, that's where the name comes from, Electric Vehicle Enclave. And then we've got lots of edible landscaping. And what we've tried to do is take those sort of super techie topics that the politicians argue about and dumb it all down to, I don't have to care, I can just live better. So the buildings take care of themselves, the transportation we've tried to make easy, and the landscaping includes food for you. So we've tried to kind of build it all in.
Perfect. So it's located near West 5, not technically in West 5.
Right on the edge of West 5, yeah.
Right on the edge. And for people who drive by, they're really noticeable buildings because they're absolutely stunning in their shape. So I guess maybe we can start with even what is smart, because I think I went into the tour with a different view of what I thought smart was going to be. So maybe we can start with that.
Sounds fun. Yeah, we have so many people in our research team. We tried to dig into these questions from a technical point of view. I'm an engineer and my team is full of technical people. So we went out and did a bunch of market research on these technical questions, and then go figure we got normal human answers back.
Yeah.
Answer number one, what is smart, was local food. And we're thinking it's going to be, Google cook my food for me, or Amazon order me whatever I ordered last time.
That's what I thought.
And it was absolutely not. It was, we want to walk to a local market and we want to be able to know that food is close and that it's sort of safe and that it's all got whatever the Canadian health standards are. I don't have to worry about any of that. And so that surprised us. And then the next thing about smart was family stuff. It's time that I spend using food with people that I care about.
Yeah.
So we spent a lot of effort, we heard that, and we spent a lot of our effort stepping back and thinking about how do we kind of dumb smart down.
Yep.
And so in our systems, we added a lot of very basic sort of, I'll call it the bones in the infrastructure. We have a smart door lock because it's safe and it's got some intelligence behind it. We've got a really good thermostat. We've got a light switch that turns off all the lighting in the house. That's probably the fanciest thing that we've got. And then all of that is tied together in an app. I guess the app would be the fanciest thing. And then that's the basis that you can build from. If you want to add lots of things, you can, but you don't have to. So one of our residents added Google Home, and they've got all kinds of self-built features they can add to that. But our base level of smart was try to make life easier for people. We've got an energy monitor that's built into this, so you can log in and check and see how much energy your fridge is using or your heat pump is using, and try to make all of that as simple as possible for people. Smart seems to mean simple.
Yeah, which is nice in today's world. So the edible garden is super cool. I know I was excited about it. So can we maybe talk about like what's in the garden?
Sure,
Where did this concept come from?
So as builders, obviously we can't challenge people's diets too much.
Yeah.
But what we can do is give you things you can use for tea, and we can give you things you could just eat right off the bush. We've got several different types of berries, which are meant for Southern Ontario, right? There's lots of things that we import at the grocery store that you can't grow here, but we've got blueberries and chokeberries and things that do just grow fine in London. We've got a few different teas. We've got sumac and a couple of things you can grind to grain, and then we've got some just spices that you could just harvest and grind and use as spices. So easy stuff that you could, you could put some in a pot on your patio if you wanted to. And that was the point.
Available to everybody.
Yep.
And maybe before we head to break, because we're already there, talk about the courtyard and sort of the community aspect of Eve Park.
We borrowed some ideas from other smart people in the best places we could find. The European Woonerf idea from Dutch Woonerfs. It's the idea of blending the sidewalk into the street, so you don't really know where a kid could come out and play at any moment. So everybody slows down, and it works really well. There's tons of reports on this. So what we've done is, as soon as you come into our development, we've wrapped the homes around a courtyard. And it's done two things. It's made it safer, it's made it slower, it's made it quieter. It's also given us all kinds of real estate back for that courtyard when we stacked up our cars in our parking towers, so that we could, and we keep the cars close, keep them safe, double safe because they're up in the air where nobody can steal them. Unless you've got a pass to get into the garage, you're not going to see them. And then it frees up all the land so people can just play and get to know the neighbors. And then we spent a lot of time and effort on landscaping to give you places to sit and have a coffee or go out and walk your dog.
Amazing. So we're going to pause there, and when we come back, we are definitely going to talk about the parking units.
Sounds great.
Awesome. We'll be right back.
This program is brought to you by Rogers Xfinity, connecting you to more of what you love. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Your happy place. Easy 1013, the perfect music mix.
Carbon monoxide is a deadly gas you can't see, smell, or taste.
Homes with fuel-burning appliances and/or attached garages must have working CO alarms installed outside all sleeping areas.
Don't let the silent killer get you. Install working CO alarms today.
Welcome back. We are back with Derek. We're going to keep talking about Eve Park a little bit more. So when we left, we were talking about the parking garage, which is pretty spectacular. So do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's funny. Nothing really is new under the sun. We were looking around for good ideas, and we were particularly looking for ideas to save land because it's expensive to put asphalt everywhere, and nobody really likes walking through parking lots endlessly. And the way development works now with all the rules and all the economics, the land's at a premium, so we end up having to cover it. So we were looking for tools we could use. Some 50 other countries have these parking towers. So we found what we think is the best one, and we Canadianized it. And now we have parking towers. So when you drive into the driving area, there's enough space for a fire truck or a garbage truck, and that's it. Otherwise, it's just these parking towers. So I need 2 spaces wide per tower, and you kind of drive in on the line in between them, and then it's a squished Ferris wheel on top of that. It's a big conveyor. So it's all self-balanced, and it's got all, engineers are happy with how they did this. But I can park 12 SUVs in one tower or 14 sedans in the other, so I get 26 cars on top of what would have been 4 driveways. And then the other 22 driveways I can put back into the landscaping. So for us, it just absolutely saved the site. We now have space for the homeowners to enjoy. And we can do some landscaping, and all the edible stuff we talked about has somewhere to go because of these towers.
Yeah.
And then there's all the added advantages that it's kind of fun and it's techie and it looks really cool.
It looks really cool.
Yeah. And they're really quiet and they work really well. So we're very happy with them.
Which is amazing. And so maybe we can talk about the car share program, because that's a cool part of this as well.
So our garages are 100% electric vehicle enabled. Again, the name is Electric Vehicle Enclave, EV Park. So we've got 100% EV enablement. And then because we're trying to make transportation easier for environmental reasons and other reasons, we hooked up with car share people, EVNet, and there's some other good experts behind them, have done all the research for us. There's something like 2.1 something cars for a 2 something person family in London as an average stat.
Yeah.
Our families are moving in with one car. Not going to get rid of all their cars, but they're willing to step down to one car because I need my car. But then I'll join the car program, so I have one car plus one fleet, and somebody else takes care of the fleet, and they're all fancy electric cars. They're all Teslas. They all charge in the garage at the end of the building. There's a whole team of people who maintain them and take care of it for me. I just use an app. I just book it when I want it. So that's been a really great second car.
Yeah.
And then of course the research is showing us that that's how the first couple years work, but 2-3 years in, I really like not paying insurance or maintenance for that other car.
Yep.
And then as 5 years come, I'm starting to want to sell my other car because it's a pain. I'd rather just deal with let the rental company deal with it all.
Home and all the things. I don't need a car as often.
Exactly. And they're my cars anyway. They're Eve cars. They're not for the whole world. They're just for us. So we just get a couple more Eve cars, and eventually we have a parking problem. We have way too many parking places. So then we'll talk about expanding it to West 5 and sharing with the other neighbors. But for now, it's exciting and exclusive.
It's super exciting. And we haven't touched really at all on the inside. And I think one of the things that I was really intrigued by was the lighting, and just the amount of natural light in the space was spectacular. And I know it was very intentional.
It was. Yeah, again, when we did our research on what smart means, the first thing that people want to see when they walk inside a home, not everybody, but generally most people, first thing they want to see is natural light and somewhere to sit with people I care about. Even if I'm sort of hiding to myself, I want a place I can share when I want to share it.
Yeah.
So the first thing that we see, as soon as you walk in, our designs are all geared around that. The ceilings open up to natural light towards the back. And we sometimes will drop the ceilings to create intimacy over something like the dining room table. And then we open it up again as you get to the back door where the patio would be, and big floor-to-ceiling windows everywhere, just to make sure there's lots of light.
Yeah, and even the one that was really unique is the one in the bedroom that opens up light into the hallway, and it's smart.
Yeah, simple things, because our units are kind of narrow, right? Our townhomes are tight, so we have a fairly tight and compact design. There's a space in the hallway on the top floor that would be enough for a bedroom, but it's kind of in the middle of the house where you can't have a window. So we put a window on the edge of it. It's a transom window into the bedroom beside it. So you could put a blind over that when you need the blind there, but if it's the middle of the day and that's my home office, or it's a home library, or I set up desks for the kids to do homework, you can get lots of natural light in there during the day too.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible, and so we've got about a minute left, and so when we're thinking about sort of, I want to touch on the awards because you guys have done such an amazing job, and you've received some pretty significant recognition. Yeah. Is there one or two that maybe you want to highlight because they're the?
Oh wow! Yeah.
I know.
And we're in that stage where we're finally starting to have we can show for our work now, which is really reassuring. So the London Development, there's nonprofits for a bunch of things. The London Development Community has a nonprofit, LDCA, and we won Project of the Year award there, and then the London Home Builders. They've recognized different things in their different awards. We got a Project of the Year award there. So these agencies are affirming us that our project it's well planned, it's got good design, it's meant for people, and it's smart, and it's sustainable, and it represents the right way to do these things, because we can overcomplicate it. Lots of people will think, to do something sustainable, I have to take what I know and then spend lots of extra money sort of upping it to a new standard. What we've tried to do is step back and show you that's not true, actually. You do need to design it different. But a lot of it's sort of hidden stuff. We built the walls a little better, and we built better windows, and we worked really hard with our contractors to pay attention to the little details. So by the time you put it together, it's award worthy. Yeah. But it's because it's attainable. Normal people can live here. We're really, really proud, actually. We've got some finance programs you can talk to our sales team about, but $1,500 to $2,500 a month is what you pay to actually live in one of these homes. Yeah. So that took some thinking.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that's where the awards are coming from. NN Style runs their top 10 sort of global influencer projects for the year, and we made the 2024 list beside a project from Milan and one from Chongqing, China, and they had to clarify London, Ontario, Canada, because it's not the other London, so we're really proud of that.
Yeah, and I think even for us from London, it's the opportunity to say, this isn't Toronto, this isn't Montreal, this is happening in our community, and it's absolutely spectacular, and you should be so proud of everything you've done. Thank you for coming on. I know we're going to share videos and lots of ways for people to get in touch. I'm really grateful for your time, and thank you so much for the tour.
Thanks so much for having me. Very glad to be here.
Awesome. We'll be right back.
This program is brought to you by Rogers Xfinity, connecting you to more of what you love. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mario Elia, host of Keeping London Healthy here on Rogers TV. Join us Wednesdays at 6:30 where we discuss health topics relevant to you and bringing on experts in the field to give you the best, most up-to-date information. See you then.
In The Paint Box, host Jane Roy puts a spotlight on various aspects of the vibrant visual art community in the City of London. The Paint Box, Mondays at 5:30 p.m. Join the high-energy, bodyweight-based workouts of the Thunder Twins. Gerald and Harold will get all shapes and sizes up and moving. Catch the Thunder, Mondays at noon.
This is a perfectly healthy child. What's unhealthy are birth alerts, a racist practice that may stop this Indigenous mother from going home with her newborn. Become an ally. Rise above racism in healthcare.
Welcome back. Our next guest is changing the world of financial education as she has created a simulation game to teach people how to navigate the complexities of the modern financial world safely. To tell us more about this is Megan Daly, president of Forward Vision Games. Welcome to the show, Megan.
Thank you so much, Melissa. Great to be here.
Super excited to talk about this because I have been a longtime fan. So tell us about Forward Vision Games.
Sure. So what Forward Vision Games does is we create financial simulation games, and we help people safely and successfully navigate the modern financial world. You can think about us a little like a flight simulator for financial skills. And what we allow people to do is to make financial decisions, to see those decisions play out over a long time horizon, feel the consequences, positive and negative, and really understand what happens when you make financial choices. What's the likely outcome? We also let our participants execute those choices right down to payment. So they have access to bank accounts, virtually and pretend ones. They have credit cards, they have debt products. So we really help people with the skills they need to succeed in their lives the next day.
Amazing. And I know there's different audiences who this has really sort of been designed for and geared towards. Can we maybe talk about who Forward Vision Games is a really great client?
Sure, yeah, no, absolutely.
Use case?
Yeah, use case. Sure, we'll talk a little bit about the participants. I think we'll start there. We've got experience with people as young as 13 and as old as 70. Our sweet spot seems to be the 15 to 35-year-old.
Okay.
That's where we're focused on. We also, in terms of delivery, we actually have partnerships. So we partner with schools. We partner with high schools, colleges, universities, also with different training organizations, worker readiness programs, and also financial institutions. We really look at groups of people who need help with their finances and the organizations that are trying to help them change the trajectory of their life in a positive way. We're also a social enterprise, and so since day one, we've actually been focused on economic reconciliation. To date, over 50% of our participants have identified as Indigenous. Heading into 2025, we're looking at expanding some of our areas of influence, and both on the policy side as well as on the education side, trying to help more newcomers. And we also are really aware of the economic agency of women. And that spans, the Indigenous sector, newcomers, as well as just young women generally, wanting to understand more about finance and take control of where they're headed in life.
And it's so important. Like, there's so much complexity to finances. Even if I grew up with parents who were educating me along the way, I probably still have questions and don't understand. Sometimes I think people keep it convoluted on purpose.
They do. Yeah.
But especially as a newcomer or somebody who wasn't exposed to it, the value of being able to practice in a safe way. I'm assuming your clients and your participants must just have incredible things to say about that.
Oh, they do. And I think I'm glad you raised that. We really are about experiential learning. In life across sectors and topics, experience is one of our best teachers. And for financial skills, that is such an expensive way to learn. So we let people learn in a fun way with pretend money.
Yeah.
It's cheaper. It's a lot more fun if you make a mistake, let me tell you. And people get to remember that too. It's like when you have that experience in real life, you just did it, you know, in a pretend way, and also in the accelerated fashion of the timeline. You get to see something play out over those 10-year time horizons. What happens often, and this is where I think that we talk a lot about, the financial world has changed, and we need to change how we teach it. And so much of what's going on is that the financial complexities are because of the interconnectedness. And old school financial literacy was really about these modules. Yeah. One day you would do one topic, interest. Then the next day you would do something else. And what we do at Forward Vision is we allow people to see how those areas are connected in their life. It raises their skill set, it raises their competency, and allows them to actually take those skills and apply them the next day. One of our examples we have from a couple of years ago, there was a participant we had at a post-secondary program. He was actually doing very well in the program. He was learning a lot, and he admitted when he went into it he didn't have high financial skills at all, but he loved it. One thing that happened was that he learned about payday lending. He wasn't a victim of, you know, the predatory lending going on, but he knew his aunt was, and he didn't know what to do. In the game, he understood what it was. He also learned our financial communication skills. He talked to her about it. He took her to a branch to help her refinance her debts. So within that, you know, course timeline, not only did he learn something, but we got that community impact. We've started really trying to lean into that a bit more in the data, and we've discovered that for every participant that plays, we have an impact of 3 other people in their network.
Absolutely amazing. We're going to share all the contact information so people know how to find you. Thank you so much for coming in today. Absolutely brilliant work that you're doing.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Melissa.
Thanks. We'll be right back.
Hi everyone, my name's Emily Febri. I'm also known as Ranger M. I'm an environmental communicator and educator, and I get to talk to a lot of different people about all things nature and conservation. I love to knowledge share, and that's what I want to do with you. So come on, let's go learn with Ranger M.
My name is Matthew Rutledge. I'm a 60 scoop survivor, born in Red Lake. Was adopted from there to Toronto at the age of 4. A lot of our brothers and sisters, family members got separated from each other. That was the government's goal, to break that connection from brothers and sisters. Basically taking the Indian out of the child. Right now, they're still trying to find themselves. Originally, my birth name is Harvey Halverson. In my high school days, teens, I was trying to fit into society. I knew I was First Nations, but I didn't know who I was inside. I think later in life, I started that journey. I am proud, Anishinaabe man, who I am now. I love life, who I am.
My name is Ryan Dyson, and I drive the number 28 race car at Delaware Speedway and across Ontario all summer long. You can check out our YouTube vlog series right here on Rogers TV every Friday at 6 o'clock p.m.
Welcome back. Our final guests today are no stranger to many people in London. The Crooners are back on the Auburn Stage at the Grand Theatre, bringing Christmas to the stage like only they can. Here to tell us more about the Crooners and their special guests are Rick Kish and Connor Boa. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Super excited to have you both. Thank you. And we were chatting before about how amazing this show is. Like, it's just wonderful and so holiday.
Yeah, it's jam-packed with Christmas, right? Like
yeah.
We used to do a thing where we would have half the show be like crooner standards and then the second half would be all Christmas. But we realized, you know, let's do Christmas and let's just make it as festive as possible. So that's basically what we do, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's fun.
And so you've got an incredible lineup this year of guests.
We do, yeah.
A lot of guests.
Yeah, we have a lot of guests. Yeah, and so it's you know, I'm going to talk about the Friday night because there's a mystery guest that we were holding off onto until announcing, and we're going to do that right now. right?
It's exciting.
Yes, Jasmine Fulo is her name. She's 11 years old and like an amazing young talent. And this music, this retro stuff that we love to sing, is what she's passionate about. So 11 and this music, so it's really cool. Yeah,
incredible.
How did you find her?
Well, I'm a voice teacher in town, and so I have lots of students that come in and out of my studio, like this guy. This is how I found him a long time ago.
Like
so
11 years ago.
11 years ago, he was
time.
15 years old, and you know, excited about music. So, and you can tell, right? They're meant to be on the stage, and so it was really easy with this guy, and really easy with Jasmine. Really wonderful, gifted young girl, and yeah, I'm so excited to be on the show.
Well, and it's part of what I think is so great about this show that we've been doing for a long time.
Yes.
Is it gives not only us the opportunity to do Christmas and bring that sort of spirit to people in the holiday, but gets the opportunity for a lot of people like me, like Jasmine, to do
Yeah, we always
like
have
this.
special guests and young people that come on. So we have a mentorship capacity to what we do as well, right? So it's really cool because you see young people who want to be on stage, who may not have the opportunity, get the opportunity and shine. Do they stay with it? Not necessarily, but you know, it's, I think, only beneficial to a person to have had that experience to share that kind of stuff on stage.
100%. The confidence, the all of the things that come with that mentorship relationship as well. Like that's invaluable, especially. You started at 15?
Yeah, 15, yeah.
Yeah, so 15, 11, like it's pretty special.
We also have a second guest. I haven't even told him yet. His name is Reese. I'll just start with that so that it doesn't get too, but he's a young, sort of like a pop kid, plays guitar, really talented, and he wants to sing Christmas music and do not this kind of stuff necessarily, but I think it'll add another flavor to the evening.
It's a nice twist.
Yeah, it's a nice twist. It's different from what we do, so it's cool, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm the old guy, he's the sort of young guy, and then we got the really young guy.
Well, it's part of what we do, too, because the show has been around, it's had so many iterations. We like to do something kind of new with it every year and keep it fresh. And,
That's awesome.
And Reese and Jasmine are our fresh sort of young faces. And then we have Denise Pelly, who is, you know, I refer to her as the queen of music in London, Ontario.
She's an icon.
She's an icon.
She was here a few weeks ago.
Right, and she is a beautiful human being. So being able to spend time with her on stage and in rehearsals and stuff, it's been a gift. So super happy.
And do you do different songs throughout the different evenings, or is it typically like a pretty set program?
Well, we have our set stuff, and then the guests will have their own stuff, which some of us will intermingle with them at some times. A couple of duets are planned with Denise and Hillary, and the kids are on their own because they're doing their thing. But yeah,
there'll be slight little variations every night. Yeah, having different people every night.
Exactly.
Amazing. How can people get tickets?
Call the Grand Theatre box office.
Okay.
672-8800.
That's
good from memory.
That's off the top of your head. That's good.
I hope I got it right. Or grandtheatre.com. The company that's producing it is my theatre company, which is called Link Theatre and Concerts. And so check us out at linktheatre.ca. No matter what, you'll get towards the tickets.
Perfect.
Yeah, and it's the 12th, the 13th, and the 14th, 5 shows of December.
Amazing. Thank you so much for coming in today. Looking forward to the show for sure, and we'll chat soon, I'm sure.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Well, that's a wrap. Thank you for watching and for listening. I encourage you to support the efforts of our guests by liking, commenting, and sharing this episode of What's Up London with your friends, family, and networks. Please visit our guests' websites and social media pages and plan to attend their events. Until I see you again, be safe and be kind.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
Hi, I'm Kathleen from Hiking with Kathleen. Please join me this season where I bring you on my great adventures of hiking, paddling, and camping. and I bring you up close to wildlife as I see them on my hikes.